What's up, nerds? Godzilla's of course known for destroying buildings and smashing cities, but now we can add the crushing of Hollywood onto the list. That's right, the latest film from Japan smashed at the box office records and made a mockery of our failed woke movie industry. And I'm going to show you precisely why you need to get online, on Netflix mostly, and see this amazing film. I recently had the awesome experience of seeing the amazing newest Japanese film entitled Godzilla Minus One. Now, Godzilla Minus One is currently online and took the box office by storm, very much akin to the way The Sound of Freedom dominated the theaters across the nation several months back. Like The Sound of Freedom, Godzilla has no big name Hollywood support. It was made on a very modest budget of just 10 to 15 million, and on top of all that, it's a fully Japanese film replete with subtitles, and yet Godzilla Minus One has become a blockbuster smash hit, breaking records at the box office and completely defying the trend of big budget Hollywood movies, struggling to find success because of their incessant and pathetic wokeism. Even as of recording this, it is #1 on iTunes, then it came in at #4 on the Netflix charts. The film offers a remarkable combination of the traditional Godzilla narrative, but with an incredibly gripping storyline that emotionally tugs at the heartstrings like few films can, set in the immediate aftermath of Japan's defeat in the Second World War. The film features the main character, Koichi, a disgraced kamikaze pilot who's ravaged by survivor's guilt, especially given how he deliberately cowered away from giving his life for the Empire. After returning home, he rebuilt his life in war-torn Japan. Now, Koichi meets a beautiful young selfless woman named Noriko, who's caring for a baby girl given to her by the baby's dying mother, whose last request was for Noriko to take care of her, given that her entire family's been killed in the air raids. Koichi provides shelter for Noriko and the baby, what's left of his bombed-out home, and together Koichi and Noriko do what they can to just try to survive amidst the devastation of the post-war Japan. And here's where the drama really unfolds when Godzilla's been mutated and empowered through nuclear tests off the coast of the Marshall Islands. When Godzilla begins to attack Japan, in many ways represents the personal monsters that the Japanese were having to wrestle with after not just losing the war, but losing their entire material way of life. To make matters worse, the US military refuses to help with protecting Japan from Godzilla because the geopolitical tensions with the Soviet Union and the Japanese government, they're just too impotent to follow their defeat to stop Godzilla. So the task to defending Japan, like defending their homeland, now rests solely with the people. And this is where you begin to see fascinating and compelling nationalist populist theme arise in this film. Everyone wants to defend their homeland, but they don't trust their government or the US military to do it. They see their government in its previous and ill-fated form of embracing imperial fascism. They see their government as guilty of having let down the people. The government is guilty of having cheapened their life, rendering Japanese citizens expendable in defense of an aristocratic fascist elite. And so the only people who are left to defend the homeland are the people themselves. And that's exactly what happens. Having rejected the defeated fascism of their old regime, the Japanese people, many of whom are surviving soldiers, they organize and band together to save Japan from the new destructive threat that faces in the form of this monster. And what I found so fascinating is how the movie actually challenges the silly narratives coming from our own political and cultural elite. I mean, hardly a day or a week goes by without ultra-liberal media pundits accusing MAGA forces of being, dun-dun-dun, fascist.
The Democratic Party is the world's last best hope against fascism, against an extreme, autocratic, anti-woman, anti-gay, anti-contraception, anti-freedom collection of fascists who dominate the Trump wing of today's Republican Party. A group of fascists who even refuse to investigate the violent riots that their president launched on January 6th to overthrow a legitimately elected president. Why? Because they are fascists.
You and I, the patriots who cherish faith and family and freedom, are labeled as fascists by the leftist lunatics you just heard. However, this smear is exactly the absurd fraud that Godzilla Minus One so beautifully and profoundly exposes throughout the film. In the movie, the Japanese people rise to defend their national sovereignty, culture, customs, and traditions. They do this while distancing themselves from their now defeated fascist regime. They are nationalist populists, but they are emphatically not fascists. This movie powerfully dismantles much of the unthinking and mindless nonsense that often passes for political critique among many of the woke left. The unapologetic campaigning of nationalist populism is resonating strongly with moviegoers. Godzilla Minus One has just become the highest grossing Japanese Godzilla film in the 70-year history of the franchise. Meanwhile, major Hollywood studios, including Disney, have faced significant financial setbacks in 2023, with only a few select films managing to break even or turn a profit. Disney alone has lost over $1 billion on their last 8 or 9 films. Why should we be surprised? The American film industry has gone woke, and as a result, American films have largely lost the ability to create art. This is because great art communicates the timeless and transcendent values of truth, goodness, and beauty, which are everlasting, and therefore never exhausted in any particular artistic or cultural institution. Wokeness, on the other hand, is not transcendent. It is not eternal or even profound. It is vile, vicious ideology held by a very fringe lunatic minority. Therefore, wokeness is not a sustainable art form precisely because wokeness itself is not sustainable. If you want a faithful antidote to the trash coming out of Hollywood, Godzilla Minus One is the answer. So I say go see Godzilla Minus One on Netflix now and enjoy storytelling at its finest and most conservative. And as always, if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. You can leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know, I won't mind if you're new to my channel. Please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on my next movie review. You guys have a good day. Bye.